Hello and welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to take a look at one of the most iconic moments of the 20th century, and we're going to flip it completely on its head. It turns out there's a really powerful strategic lesson hiding there in plain sight.
Right. We've all heard this clip, JFK's moonshot speech. It's constantly held up as, the ultimate example of visionary leadership. It's what they call a big, hairy, audacious goal, this huge, inspiring dream that leaders are always told they need to create to get people motivated. And it sounds simple enough, doesn't it? Just dream big and go for it. But what if that's not really the whole story? What if the moonshot wasn't just some inspirational wish? What if it was actually a cold, hard, calculated strategic move? Well, that's where this incredible idea comes into play, the proximate objective. See, it's not about the final destination way off in the distance. It's about figuring out the most critical, achievable next step. A proximate objective is a challenge you can actually wrap your arms around, one that once you nail it, fundamentally changes the game and opens up a whole new set of possibilities. So if you look at the moon landing through this lens, the whole thing changes. The common view? Yeah, it's a visionary dream to inspire a nation. But the strategic view? It was something else entirely. The real challenge for Kennedy wasn't some vague goal like, let's lead in space. No, it was very specific. Beat the Soviets, who were way ahead of the US in rocket technology at the time. So he chose an objective that his top scientists, people like Wernher von Braun, had already said was an engineering challenge they could actually solve. It was a reachable target designed to completely leapfrog the competition.
And this is so important because it's the total opposite of what you see in so much bad strategy. Bad strategy is just full of these vague, useless goals. You get fluff, right? A company saying its strategy is customer-centric intermediation, which is just a fancy way of saying we're a bank. Or you get wishful thinking, like a 2020 plan for 20% growth that has zero basis in reality. And my favorite, the dog's dinner. Just a messy list of conflicting priorities that pulls everyone in 50 different directions. A proximate objective just slices right through all that noise.
And look, this isn't just for presidents and space races. Let's dig into a couple of completely different real-world examples to see how this plays out.
Okay, I love this quote. It's from a helicopter pilot, PJ, and it just perfectly captures this idea. Imagine your engine fails when you're 1,000 feet in the air. You've got maybe 1 second to react. In that moment, you absolutely cannot be thinking about the basic controls. That part has to be pure muscle memory.
PJ talks about this as a hierarchy of skills. The ultimate, far-off goal might be to land on a violently pitching ship at sea, at night, in combat. But you can't even begin to think about that until you have absolutely mastered the proximate objective right in front of you, making the basic controls so automatic that it's like breathing. Each one of these steps is its own proximate objective that unlocks the ability to even try the next one.
Let's jump back to NASA for a second. In the early 60s, the team designing the Surveyor moonlander was totally stuck, paralyzed. Their job was to design the thing, but nobody on Earth knew what the moon's surface was actually like. Would it sink into deep, soft powder? Would it be pierced by sharp crystals? Would it have to navigate giant boulders? When you don't know the answer, you can't really defend any design. You're just guessing.
So what was the solution? It wasn't more debate or more speculation. It was a super clear, proximate objective that just cut right through all the fog. Let's build an unmanned machine that can soft land on the moon and just tell us what it's like. That one single, feasible goal focused the incredible energy of that entire organization on solving one critical problem. And solving that problem is what unlocked the path to the human mission.
And this works just as well in business. So you've got a business school with this big, fuzzy ambition to be a top-ranked regional school. What does that even mean? It's not actionable. But what if they define a proximate objective instead? Something like, let's get our graduates hired at these 10 specific, highly desirable firms that currently don't even recruit on our campus. All of a sudden, that fuzzy ambition becomes a concrete challenge. You can build an entire coherent strategy around that single pivotal goal.
So you start to see the pattern, right? For every major challenge, there's this shift. To beat the Soviets, the goal wasn't a vague lead in space, it was land a man on the moon this decade. For the pilot, it wasn't be a combat pilot, It was master the basic controls. You trade these big, unhelpful goals for a concrete, feasible objective that unlocks everything that comes after.
And this really is the key takeaway. Good strategy is not just about having a big, grand vision. Honestly, that's the easy part. The real work, the hard work, is identifying the most critical challenge sitting right in front of you and then defining a proximate objective that you can pour all your resources into and actually achieve. It's about focusing on that next pivotal step, not just staring at the horizon.
And that really brings us to the final question for you. It's so easy to talk about 5-year plans and big dreams, but if you had to stop and identify the one, single, feasible objective that, if you accomplished it, would completely change the game and open up a whole new set of possibilities for you or your team, what would that be?